So, you're a new Helldiver, fresh on the front lines, and you're getting your face kicked in by giant bugs and killer robots. Don't worry, we've all been there. This is your ultimate survival guide to every single enemy in Helldivers 2, so you can stop being bug food and start dishing out some managed democracy. First up, the Terminids. On the surface, this is the most straightforward faction you're going to fight. Why? Because aside from the spewers, every single one of these bugs needs to be right in your face to do damage, while our other enemies are more than happy to pick you off from across the map. Against the bugs, you want to bring the heat, literally. Flamethrowers and napalm strikes are your absolute best friends. Fire damage actually degrades Terminid armor, lowering their effective armor value while they're burning. And the burn effect itself bypasses the armor completely. It's a top tier choice for any bug mission. Beyond that, I always recommend a primary with a medium armor penetration and a grenade pistol for sealing bug holes on the move. Your heavy weapon choice depends heavily on your other stratagems. If you plan on finding support weapons on the map, you can load up on more offensive stratagems. If you're bringing your own anti-tank, you've got more freedom to bring support gear. The real danger with the Terminids is their speed and overwhelming numbers. These things are fast, and on higher level missions you better be on your A game. One single misstep and you'll suddenly have 10 hunters dropping on your head to tear you to pieces. Any Terminid swarm is built on a tide of scavengers, bouncers, hunters, and warriors, often led by a brute commander or an alpha commander. This is their main fighting force. Everything else serves as big support. Scavengers and Bile Spitters. Scavengers are the bottom of the food chain, slow, weak, but they can trigger a bug breach if you let them. Bile Spitters are just scavengers that spit a slowing poison. Both die if you so much as look at them funny. Bouncers. Think of these as hunters in training. They can leap an impressive distance but are incredibly easy to kill. Not a major threat on their own. Now we get to the most infuriating creature in the entire game, hunters. They might look fragile, but a pack of hunters is arguably the deadliest thing you can face. They jump far, hit hard, and attack in swarms. They'll dodge and weave, circling you until they get close. For these guys, bring a weapon with high rate of fire because I promise you, you will be missing shots. Shriekers. These flying pests are surprisingly fragile. The real threat is a large flock of them. If they all decide to target you at once, they will shred you in seconds. The trick is to aim for the wings. One well-placed shot will usually ground them permanently. Warriors. All three are variations on a theme. Alpha warriors are more aggressive, and Bile warriors explode in venom upon death. A couple of shots to the head will put them down. They are slow, but lethal up close, so maintain your distance. Hive guards. Even slower than warriors, but they're rocking heavy armor on their head and legs. You'll need a medium armor penetrating weapon to get through. Other than that, just don't let them corner you. Spewers. Nursing spewers and bile spewers. The only Terminids with a true ranged attack. It's tempting to unload into their huge glowing sacks, but their actual weak point is their head. Nursing spewers are unarmored and die easily to headshots. Bile spewers, however, require medium armor penetration to crack their armored skulls. Brute commanders and alpha commanders. The big difference between them is that the brute commanders can deploy reinforcements, while alpha commanders mostly charge you with their head. These ones can call in alpha warriors. Once again, their head is their weak point. It does not require any armor penetration, but you do need to shoot them quite a bit. And be warned, just like warriors, they can keep fighting for a few seconds after being decapitated. Stalkers. These invisible assassins only appear when stalker layers are on the map. A single one is manageable, but fighting several at once is a nightmare. When they take enough damage, they'll try to flee. Do not let them. Hunt them down and finish the job. Chargers. All three types. These armored bulldozers demand anti-tank solutions. A direct shot to the head from a heavy weapon will kill them instantly. The alternative is to blast a leg to strip the armor, then finish it off with your primary. Spore charges create a thick fog, and charger behemoths are just bigger and tougher. If any of them are charging at you, dive sideways from them when they are close. Oh, and even though they have these massive sacks on their buttocks, it is not a weak point. They can easily function without them. Impalers. These are heavily armored but have a tell. When they root themselves with their tentacles to attack, their head is exposed. Time your shot and you can take them down. Otherwise, you'll need a heavy anti-tank. Bile Titans, the apex predator. These things are fast, can stomp you flat, and their bile spray is an instant kill if you're not careful. A precision shot to the head from a top tier anti-tank weapon will drop them instantly. Anything less will barely scratch the paint. Alright, let's shift the gears to Automatons. These clankers are a completely different beast compared to the Terminids. They're generally slower, but they are armed to the teeth with ranged firepower. If your strategy against bugs was run, your strategy against bots bots must be hide. My personal go-to against the bots is the Eruptor. Its heavy armor penetration, massive damage, and stagger are a perfect storm. A well-aimed shot can one-shot hulks and even destroy fabricators. It's slow, but it works wonders, especially when you have a good sidearm for the small fry. And speaking of small fry, even the basic bots throw grenades, so stay sharp. You can get this gun from the Democratic Detonation Warbond. The Automaton playbook is simple: overwhelm you with armor and suppressive fire. Running away is often not an option, thanks to their cannons and stationary turrets. I always recommend running some heavy stratagems like rocket sentry, anti-tank mines, orbital walking barrage, or orbital 380 heat barrage. And stratagems like the anti-tank emplacement are fantastic here, letting you dismantle their bases from a safe distance. Bring as much anti-tank as you can, and consider a shield generator pack for some personal protection. Commissar is your priority target, always. They're weak and go down in one shot. The reason they have to die first is simple: they are the main guys calling down these bot drops. Silencing them makes every engagement 10 times easier. Scout Striders, don't be intimidated by these walkers. Their front is armored, but you can just circle around and pop the pilot from the back or side with a single shot. Troopers and Brawlers, your standard infantry. Troopers have guns, Brawlers have blades. Both die easy, but don't give them a chance to fire off a flare for reinforcements. MG Raiders and Rocket Raiders, exactly what they sound like. Easy to kill, and while they can call for backup, it is pretty rare. Marauders, a slightly tougher trooper with a better gun that shows up on higher difficulties. Still not a major threat on its own. Berserkers, these are the bots' melee shock troops, charging you with chainsaws for hands. Aim for their head with glowing red eyes or their unarmored waist. A few well-placed shots will stop them cold. Next up on the Automaton roster are the Devastators, and they come in 3 distinct flavors: regular, rocket, and heavy. The standard Devastator is your baseline model and is very easy to kill. Just shoot its head or waist. Honestly, it doesn't even have a lot of firepower. Its main tactic is to pretty much slowly walk up and punch you in the face. The heavy Devastator is the real problem. Armed with a big shield and a fast-firing machine gun. Be extremely careful with these ones, as they love to shred you apart in the open. That said, a well-placed shot to their head will bring them down effectively. Then you have the Rocket Devastator. In my opinion, they're a little less annoying. They'll bombard you with rockets from a distance, but thankfully they usually don't one-shot you. Overall, the Devastators are harder to kill than smaller bots, but they're not an overwhelming threat. They exist to provide heavy firepower support for the Automaton army. The key to fighting all 3 variants is simple: find good cover to peek out from and you'll be fine. And here we have a Hulk. We also have 3 types: Bruiser, Obliterator, and Scorcher. Bruiser has a burst rocket launcher and an autocannon. Obliterator has 2 rocket launchers and is a bit more scary. Scorcher loves to get close to you and do bad things. Scorcher is probably the most annoying one, since he always tries to get very close and personal. Hulk's heads are also their weak point, but they are armored, so you will need something more than a sidearm. If you aim a Raptor well, you can one-shot them to their head. It is a little bit inconsistent though. However, their back has massive vents and they are very susceptible to damage. So if you are playing with friends or just see a Hulk's back turned at you, shoot it with some heavier weapons, it should be no problem. Once again, simply hiding will do the trick unless a Scorcher is on your ass. These do provide big firepower for automatons, but if you focus on them first, you should feel a lot more safe. Then we have the gunships, which spawn from gunship facilities. They will continue spawning if you are within a certain range from them, or they can spawn randomly as a patrol in the sky, if the gunship patrol operation modifier is active. The problem with these is that they are very difficult to hit and shoot rockets at you too. You will not be able to hide from them properly, so my suggestion would be take some kind of cover and deal with them as soon as possible. Wasp Launcher deals with them quite easily, but Eruptor as a primary works very well if you manage to hit them. And now we have the newer enemy called the War Strider. These are a bit less mobile, but are scary as hell and require a lot of firepower. They shoot out grenades at you, have lasers, and can stomp you. You can easily outrun them, but they should be very high priority nevertheless. You can destroy their legs with anti-tank weapons or throw a thermite grenade on their crotch to kill them instantly. Other than that, prepare to shoot them quite a bit. Now we have the tanks. So the Shredder is the most dangerous in my opinion. Its turret turns incredibly fast, making it hard to get behind it. The Annihilator is scary when its main cannon glows red, but otherwise it's manageable. And the Barrager, that guy has a mind of his own, okay? Most of the time he's just lurking in the shadows like an emo teen, but every now and then he'll unleash a storm of rockets. For all 3, the weak spot is the glowing vent on the back of the turret. Dropships, not a threat by themselves, but they carry a nightmare payload of bots. A powerful anti-tank weapon aimed at one of their 4 thrusters can bring it down before it unloads. And now Factory Striders. This thing is a walking fortress that also spawns more bots from its underbelly. It is bristling with cannons and machine guns that will vaporize you if you're caught out of cover. To take it down, you need heavy hitters like the recoilless rifle or expendable anti-tank aimed at the glowing red eyes on its face. They are small, but you should be able to see them. Or, of course, you can try hitting their legs, which also works. Okay, for our final faction, we have the Illuminate, the eerie, otherworldly aliens that poured out of the Meridian black hole. Their core strategy is completely different from the others. They try to overwhelm you with massive hordes of weak enemies, the voteless, to pin you down for their powerful and incredibly annoying elite units. I'll be honest, I personally don't enjoy fighting the Illuminate, probably because I have the least experience against them. Nevertheless, they are super annoying and your strategy has to adapt. You need to maintain distance at all costs. Your focus should be on mowing down the voteless as fast as possible, while taking every opportunity to target the bigger enemies before they can absolutely crush you. I cannot stress this enough. Never stray from your squad. Fighting these things alone is incredibly difficult. If you want to complete the mission efficiently, don't break up into more than 2 groups of 2. The best strategy is a constant cycle of running, shooting, and taking cover, all while trying not to get one-shot by a Leviathan. First up are the voteless. These guys are the main horde of the Illuminate, swarming you in huge numbers. Their primary purpose is to pin you in place, making you an easy target for the bigger elites following behind them. Be aware that some voteless are faster than others. You'll want to prioritize killing these faster variants first, since you can easily outrun the slower ones. The good news is that most other Illuminate enemies are much slower, giving you a crucial window to mow down the voteless horde before turning your attention to the elites. Next is the Watcher, an incredibly annoying drone and your absolute highest priority. This is the only Illuminate enemy capable of calling in reinforcements. They patrol the map looking for you, and the moment one locks on, you need to destroy it immediately. If you don't, dropships will be on you in seconds. If you see it shoot 3 flares into the sky, it's too late. Just run. While it is easy to kill, if it does manage to call for backup, it will then stick to you, constantly zapping you with a shock attack. Then we have the standard Overseer, an all-around annoying enemy equipped with a shield and a massive lance. It can block incoming fire, knock you off your feet with a powerful melee strike, and even shoot large explosive projectiles. Certain weapons are very effective against it. The Eruptor can one-shot them in the head, and I believe the explosive crossbow takes 2 shots. Honestly, your priority here depends on the distance. If one is right in your face, take it out. If it's further away, you're better off focusing on bigger threats like the elevated Overseers. One of the newer additions is the Crescent Overseer. These enemies typically hang back and act like living mortars, lobbing projectiles from a distance. They're only truly dangerous when you're already being overrun by other enemies. Otherwise, they're an easy target. Since they're so slow, you can just close the distance and take them out without much trouble. And of course, there's the elevated Overseer. These are the flying enemies that will hound you relentlessly, throwing grenades and firing non-stop in short bursts. A single one isn't much to worry about, but a sky full of them is a massive problem. They're agile and they simply will not leave you alone, so if you're with a squad, you should focus fire to thin their numbers before engaging anything else on the ground. You can take them out by hitting their head or their jetpacks, if you can get a shot at their back. If you spot them at a distance, I highly recommend taking them down first to prevent problems later on. Next is the Harvester, a massive shielded unit that fires a deadly laser. Its shield is formidable but not invincible. Do not waste your heavy hitters on the shield. Use your primary rifle to break it first and then go nuts with your support weapons. Now, here's a crucial tip. The glowing eye looks like a weak spot, I know, but I recommend you do not shoot it. Hitting the eye will actually make its laser attack even deadlier. Instead, target its legs, specifically the joints, hips, or feet themselves. You can also permanently disable its shield by shooting one of the small prongs located just above or below its eye. Destroying just one is enough. Now for what is probably the most annoying Illuminate enemy, the Flesh Mob. These things are fast, tanky, and surprisingly difficult to kill. They have no armor but a massive health pool and no real weak spots. Your best bet is to dive out of the way of their charge and then try to set them on fire, as they take double damage from the burning effect. If you don't have fire, an airburst rocket launcher or sustained fire from a machine gun can also do the trick. A quick note on targeting: shooting their legs will not slow them down, and shooting their arms will only stop their constant swinging attacks, not kill them faster. The Stingray is an aggressive Illuminate ship that circles the battlefield and can one-shot you if you're caught in its damage field. It's insanely fast, but it has to slow down to perform its bombing run. That is your window to attack. It's actually pretty weak. Most decent weapons will destroy it instantly, and even an exploding crossbow can two-shot it. The main thing is to stay out of the blue damage radius it paints on the ground if you want to live. Then there's the warp ship. It deploys Illuminate reinforcements, but honestly don't even bother shooting at it, it's completely shielded, there's not much you can do about it. And finally, the Leviathan. Oh boy. To put it simply, these behemoths have the single largest health pool of any enemy in the game. They are super difficult to destroy, but there are strategies. You can use smoke to hide from them, or use something like a quasar cannon to surgically take out their cannons. A great team strategy is to place an anti-tank emplacement and focus fire on its back fins. Destroying them will expose its innards, creating a massive weak point. It is technically possible, though incredibly difficult, to kill one with a single perfectly placed Eagle strafing run or Gatling barrage, but you are welcome to try. If one of these locks onto you, you'd better start hiding. Arrowhead did nerf them, so they don't one-shot you as often anymore. But make no mistake, they are still hella deadly. And that is every single enemy you'll face on the galactic front. From the swarming Terminids and the fortified Automatons to the psychic Illuminate, each faction will test you in a completely different way. But now you are armed with the knowledge to dismantle them all. Now that you know what you're fighting, if you want the perfect loadouts to take them on, be sure to check out my other video on the 5 top tier builds in Helldivers 2. I'll have it linked in the description and on the end screen. I want to know what you think. Drop a comment below and tell me which enemy is your absolute nightmare fuel. Maybe it's the Hunters, or maybe it's the Scorcher Hulks. Let me know. If this guide helped you spread democracy more effectively, a thumbs up would be appreciated, and be sure to subscribe for more Helldivers 2 action. Now get out there and give them hell.